Hi, it's Scott again. I wanted to take a moment to discuss something that I'm seeing in the forums. I want to make sure that you have a clear understanding about what's expected in terms of references and citations. And I may have introduced some confusion about this in the way that when I made the post earlier and said you did not have to list the required text for the books as references. And I want to first talk about the difference between a reference and a citation, and then just in case you've come to think of references and citations as a bunch of rules, and they are a bunch of rules that you have to memorize, I'd like to get back to basics about why we do references and citations. We do references and citations so that other scholars in a scholarly environment can go back to our sources and confirm them, whether it's the book that we're using from the course or this workbook. We want other people who read that and get in the habit of speaking in a very specific way when we're talking to the academic community or presenting to the academic community, and that's what we do here. And that is that we don't, if we forward information that's supposedly factual, we do that in a way that other scholars can easily find out where we got our information and can confirm it. And the truth, we have nothing to hide as long as we are forwarding the truth. And those academics who do get into trouble, people with very recognizable names, sometimes working at very top-level institutions, get into trouble because they don't document. They do get lazy, and we want to develop a habit in a master's degree program, and some of you, I'm sure, will go on to doctoral level work, of just making a habit of collecting our sources as we go and being able to describe where they were, so that there's no doubt about us making up the data. We're free, of course, to offer our own opinion, and we're certainly doing that in this forum, but that's the difference between the opinion we offer here and the opinion that you may engage in about who will win the OU-OSU football game this year. We're offering informed opinion, and unless you happen to be a player or a coach or listen to a lot of sports radio, I'm not sure that's a good valid source, but you probably are not an expert about who will win the football game. You are becoming experts about, in this case, leading change. You're already an expert compared to most people in this, although that's a topic where many people have an opinion. So just a couple things that I wanted to get straight. Let's look here, if we can, at an example. By the way, I've taken a couple of examples right out of the work online, and I don't mean this as a discouragement to anybody I use here. As a matter of fact, the two examples I've used are both excellent posts, and you would all do well to copy the intent, not the content, but the intent and the method of both of the individuals that made these posts. And yet I do want to point out a difference here in the citation. I had said in an earlier post that you don't have to include the reference work. In other words, the line that describes this book exactly and its publication date that you would normally find on the reference sheet at the end of a work, you don't need to include those for Leading Change by Cotter or for Implementing Organizational Change by Spector, because those are standard texts for this class. We all know what you're referring to, but you do need to include page numbers. So here is a post, and just one of many that I'm receiving like this, that does not have a reference to Spector, but when, and that's okay because we're using it in the text, but when it takes an idea from the text or quotes the text, is not supplying a page number. So how, if you have a question about whether you should or you shouldn't, how will a scholar that comes behind you look that information up? We've allowed this abridgment here of saying you don't have to describe exactly what the book is. As our little scholarship community here of 25 people, we're all going to know what the Cotter text is, but you still need to, if you quote an idea, you still need to tell me what page was that found on. So it's something like this. This is the way that I would have written this. It's a very fine statement like it is. It's been mainly re-paraphrased, so it's not actually a quote. I went ahead and quoted one little section, which was kind of verbatim, but that's fine. That's within the realm of discretion there. But notice at the end of this, I put Spector, 57, so that even people in the class who know what book I'm taking it from can go to page 57 of this book and find that quickly and confirm, yes, that is indeed what he says. Let me show you another post. And this was an excellent post, but I would like all of you to make sure that you're referring to page numbers in the citation. This is the citation right here, and the citation should have a page number, except in some instances. We'll look at one right here. Here's another post, another very good post that I encourage you to read. This individual is a real scholar, went out and looked up additional information. I encourage that anytime you're able. That's one of the lovely things about the internet, is that we do have many sources of information that we can access almost instantly. If you want to broaden your opinion and make your opinion more scholarly and make your opinion more respectable and make your opinion more objective and make yourself a person who is listened to and who is authoritative, broaden your sources of input. You have two excellent ones in terms of your textbooks here that are worth taking to heart, but there are many other excellent sources. Here's an example of a post that has actually gone out and looked at two. This is not required that you use external sources, but if you do, you need to cite them correctly, including, in the case of the journal article, the first one up here, the page number. So even if you're looking at a journal article online, which is cited down here at the bottom, you would need to, those are normally paginated, that is, they have page numbers, and you can look at what the page number is and you can include that. The second citation here is to a website. Now, websites are often not paginated, and in which case you can't really give a page number. APA does contain a rather complex set of rules about how you might refer to the content in an unnumbered web page. I'm not particularly interested in that. I'm interested in, can another scholar follow your citation and confirm your research? And in this case, this is well satisfied with a correct format here, but mainly a live link. And if you were to click on this live link, you would see that it does in fact go to an article about Carly Fiorina, who is the topic of our discussion question, our first discussion question. So remember, if you're referring to Spector or Cotter, then you can just say Spector, comma, and the page number. You don't have to put the reference at the bottom. If you're referring to other sources, you should put the reference at the bottom, and you should cite it in the text. The citation is the thing in parentheses in the text. The reference is the work itself. And I know the quality of your posts are very good, and I know that you all have a basic handle on this, but several of you had omitted the page number for their references to Cotter and Spector, and I would like you to include the page number for those, even though you don't have to include the reference. Okay, I probably talked way too long about a trivial topic, but I did want you to understand my expectation fully about that. As always, call me if you don't understand that, or give me an email, send me an email, and I will respond. Have a great day. I will be talking to you later.